Hello and welcome to episode 242 of the Anywhere But Here podcast. My name's Ant. As you can tell, this is another one of those episodes where it's just one of us doing the intro, and this time you've got me again. There have been a number of things going on that have caused this to be a thing where it's just one of us recording again, and as you can tell from the episode title, forced us to put out a banked episode, but more of that on episode 243, I don't doubt. It's an interesting story, promise. You can find us in all the usual places, abhpod.com. Up on the right hand side there is a link for Amazon. If you want to support us, you can go over there and buy some things through Amazon like you normally would do, after clicking that link, of course. We get a little bit of a kickback from that. You can use the Patreon banner, which is just our preferred way for you to support us, because you give us a bit of money each month. It's only $1 a month, or you can choose to give more. But you get extra content, and we feel like that's better for us, because it's sort of a give and take thing. Like, you give us money to support us and we give you a little bit extra. You can get Spolercasts, as this episode is, but when we record it. You can get the exclusive after the podcast episodes that only go out on our supporter feed. You can get early access to our YouTube videos when we start making those again. And more importantly, you get your own RSS feed, a special feed that is just for you, that takes all the extra audio content and just delivers it automatically to your podcast player. And you get these episodes without the intros. Needless to say, this one won't go out on the feed because you guys had it 2 weeks ago. The reason you had it 2 weeks ago is because we did the Spolercast then. The reason we're putting it out so early on our main feed is because Endgame's coming up, and it kind of seems relevant. And Captain Marvel isn't the only thing we talk about in this. We do spoil the fuck out of Captain Marvel, but there's other stuff as well. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff I've forgotten to include in this intro. Don't hesitate to tell us on Twitter or Facebook. There you go, that's the things I forgot. Enjoy. My favourite Marvel character,
yes,
had a movie come out recently that we have both seen. And right off the bat, it was everything.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be. It was just really fucking good fun.
Yes,
and to me, that's what Captain Marvel, that's what Carol Danvers is like. You read the comics, it's just fun. You know, it doesn't have to be this mega story, and they didn't pummel you in the face with the fact she's a woman, other than No Doubt's just a girl playing while she was beating the shit out of people.
That reignited my love of No Doubt the other week.
God.
Like, I did nothing but listen to the back catalogue of No Doubt.
Right, off the bat,
yeah,
Captain Marvel, quite possibly one of the best soundtracks of a Marvel film.
Easily, yeah.
Because it is the soundtrack of my growing up, my adolescence, my youth.
Yeah, what was it? Garbage, Hull.
Oh my God. Oh, Cole. That was the end credits, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hull was on the end credits.
Jesus, yeah. It was just... Oh, it was so good. I mean, like, Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks are solid.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
They are really good.
Yeah.
But they are before our time, whereas this was just like...
This was like stepping back into the 90s.
It was my youth. It had that. And yes, it is a cheap trick. Hey, cheap trick. Hey. It is a cheap trick that Marvel use. Yeah. They do like to use nostalgia to make you go, this is better than you think it is.
But that's the point, though, isn't it? The comics are kind of like comics culture in general is a bit nostalgic.
Yeah,
because it all harks back to the 60s and 70s anyway.
I mean, for Christ's sake, one day in the film, the cat, the Flurkin, is named Goose.
Yes.
Which is a reference to Top Gun.
Yeah. Clear.
It's her co-pilot, etc., etc. In the books, the cat, the Flurkin, is called Chewie.
Oh, okay.
Which is a co-pilot, but from another Disney-owned franchise.
Well, they could have used Chewie then.
They could have done, but I think they don't want to mix franchises that way.
I think that's fair enough, isn't it? I guess.
But it's still a co-pilot. It's still a reference to a thing that
and it makes
will get
sense
your nostalgia going.
In that situation as well, because it's fighter pilots. It's not that long after Top Gun. It's like a decade after Top Gun would have come out.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Like it's a it doesn't matter. But everything. That film was everything I wanted it to be.
I thought
it
the
was
best
so
bits
good.
involved Goose.
Yeah,
Goose was actually one of my favourite characters.
Yes. Yeah, it is a shame that they are some of the best bits, because that does make you feel like, would the film have been as good without him?
Yeah.
It is, again, it's the cheap Disney Marvel trope, isn't it? The
Stick
sidekick.
a cute sidekick,
The
like
sidekick, Groot, yeah, or even Rocket is
Yeah.
like a cute sidekick. But I mean, Groot is Rocket's sidekick.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is that, and Drax has got
Yeah.
Mantis.
Yeah.
Like you got the cute sidekicks, and they do keep doing that. I mean, Iron Man's sidekick is Jarvis.
Yeah.
Was Jarvis, is now something. So yes, you have the cute sidekick thing, which the Flurkin is. But I think it was still a good film. I think everything, like for me, everything about it was good. I thought the story was good. Lots of people complained that there wasn't much story to it. I thought there was enough.
Yeah, I had a chat with Kip from Stride and Saunter about it, and he wasn't overly impressed by it.
Right.
And he thought that the soundtrack was cheap and a bit of, I can't remember the exact words that he used, but said it was a bit of a gimmick. And I was like, yeah, but that's my era. I'm a mark for that shit. The Stan Lee cameo was spot on.
Oh my god.
But apparently he was really quite ill at that point while they filmed that. So a lot of the dialogue of him rehearsing the lines is outtakes from Mallrats.
Oh, is it actually the same?
Like they got in touch with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Because apparently he'd spoke about it somewhere on like YouTube or something.
Yeah. So the weird thing is he
wasn't
wasn't expecting it, but he knew about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think he knew what they were going to do.
Yeah. They got in contact with him to give them alternate takes of that. The reading of that line, something about true believers,
Yeah. So what Kip said is very valid, and I agree.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah,
because I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah,
yes, we always say, like, Marvel films are not meant to be masterpieces. They're not meant to get you thinking and have a profound effect on you.
No.
You're meant to go in there, have a really fucking good time, and leave.
Yeah. I went to see it twice.
Jealous. I am jealous.
And I think I enjoyed it more the second time.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think the first time I saw it, I was a bit like, she's a bit mopey.
Yeah, she's not quite the same as she is in the comics at all. She's a lot more of a smart ass, and she's got more character. And I think that is one of the criticisms a lot of people have, is that Brie Larson's performance wasn't great.
You didn't for an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
But then these films aren't Oscar-worthy acting pieces, are they? But
no.
I don't know whether I'm not sure whether she was trying too hard to give her like a subtle personality, and it just didn't work with the tone of the film, or that the development of the character just wasn't enough.
And to be fair, the comics I've read of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, she already knows who she is, and she's okay with that, and she's sort of, now she is being Captain
Whereas
Marvel.
actually what happened to her here is she had an identity.
Of course she's fucking mopey, because she's just realised she's not...
Yeah. And actually I thought because Kip also kind of criticised the backstory element, but I thought that was one of the more inventive ways of telling a backstory, is the Skrulls getting inside her head and manipulating...
Going through her memories. Yeah.
I thought that was a really inventive use of doing backstory.
Yeah.
I quite liked it.
You could see it as a cop-out as well.
I think, because like you're cherry-picking the important moments and stuff, but
yeah,
at the
it's
end of
kind
the
of
day...
like, and this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. So
but then it kind of pays off right at the very end, where you get all that montage shot of her getting up at each stage of her life.
Yeah,
and I thought that was really fucking powerful.
Yeah, I think I got goosebumps and probably quite emotional at that point. It was really cool.
But I quite like the way that it was like, we're showing you a backstory, but we're also trying to get something out of the story with it.
Yeah.
Like it actually was part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to get the information on Marvel.
Yes.
What her name was. to go and get the light speed
That's it.
drive.
Yeah.
Like there was a point to why they were showing the flashback.
Yeah.
And that's what I quite liked. I was like, oh, well, that, you know, even though flashback sequences are quite hack.
Yeah.
And they always have to happen to explain the character in some way, this actually had a point because it was driving the plot along to find out who that woman was, and B, it awakens the fact that Veers is not Veers, she's Carol Danvers.
Yes, she is human.
So she's finding out that she had that life on Earth before. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good way of showing it, and you've got to think like you're introducing a new character this late.
Yeah, 20 films in.
You need to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, and explain why she's a human but away.
Why she hasn't been there this whole time as well.
Is that she can't remember the fact that she hasn't been back.
And why she hasn't been back since the 80s is because she was going to help set up a new planet for the Skrull and get their life going and carry on fighting.
The Kree.
Yeah, but what were they? What were they specifically? There were certain accusers.
Oh, the accusers, right? Yeah.
Which was really cool.
It was quite cool.
They were talking at the beginning when they were talking and the accusers. I'm like, I know who I know who one of the accusers is, and that's when you start thinking, but he's a bad guy. Hang on a minute.
But they explained in Guardians of the Galaxy that he was just rogue. A super, like he's like a fanatic.
Yeah,
I think they called him a fanatic, didn't they? He's almost like gone rogue. He takes the dogma of the Kree to the like he's a vigilante. Yeah,
you call him in when you need something specific done.
And he's an extremist. Yeah. He's kind of like a terrorist, essentially.
But he's a terrorist. He kind of went rogue, but the accusers will still use him when they need something specific carried out.
But he wasn't that Ronin here.
No,
because he was still working with the Kree as a whole.
Yeah,
and he wasn't. I mean, they're wiping out the planets on an industrial scale, but
how long did it take you to figure out why Ronan looked so different? Or did you realise that he looked?
Well, he didn't have the black makeup on, and that I think is a sign of like his fanaticism. That something will happen to him between that film and Guardians.
Yeah, something has happened. Yeah,
where he's become much more fanatical.
Yeah, so we were watching it, and Liz was like, "Oh, that's Ronan." I was like, "Yeah." She went, "Why does he look different? What's so different about him?" And I was watching. He hasn't got the black around his the makeup, and it's just, oh yeah, he just looks so different. It's like, what have they done to him? Why? Yeah, but
I wasn't sure. Like, it was pretty clear that Jude Law was up to no good.
It's Jude Law.
Yeah. But the weird thing was that Ben Mendelsohn wasn't the bad guy.
Ben Mendelsohn, he was
Skrull.
The Skrull. Yes.
But he was also
but he was the bad guy.
Well, he was, but then he wasn't.
But then he actually wasn't.
Like, he was at the beginning.
He was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the
that
classic Marvel villain.
Well, a classic villain.
Yeah.
Like, they did it with fucking Elphaba in Wicked. They did it with Maleficent.
Yeah.
In Maleficent. But yeah, it's what Disney do. The people you think are bad aren't really that bad. They're just misunderstood.
Yeah, but it turns out the Kree are the bad guys. That was the thing.
No,
like,
the people you think are good are actually
they're
not.
the genocidal maniacs.
Yeah.
Which kind of ties in with the last series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
which I still
haven't watched. But like the Kree in that are just these maniacs who are
Yeah, because it was quite cool. Because I don't think it even came to light until it was released, because everyone thought that Jude Law was going to be Marvel.
Yeah, it was a pretty good cover.
Yeah, it was really good. Like
normally that
quite
comes
good at
out,
that,
doesn't
they?
it? Yeah. And also they've been saying about the Endgame trailers, like there's definitely characters in that aren't in those scenes.
Well, because you've got
because they've been doing
they did that with Hulk.
In
Infinity War. And it does make me think You know, in the trailer for Endgame, when you got that shot of them all walk, those white suits, man.
Yeah.
And you've got Tony Stark there.
Yeah. And there's a gap.
I don't think Tony Stark's going to be there.
No, me neither. And there's also a gap. There's like 2 groups of them. There's like 4 at the front and 2 or 3 at the back.
So there's going to be someone
there
in the middle that isn't there yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Because it could be...
Is Captain Marvel there? I don't think she's in that.
She's not in the trailer, is she?
She's in the... They play the card, then she's there. Yeah.
Yeah. But
and you do that bit like I do every time. She's gonna kick some ass.
Yeah, but it was I was absolutely blown away on with Captain Marvel that they've done in a few films, but not to the extent they did in this. Samuel L. Jackson wasn't.
Samuel L. Jackson. No, he wasn't there. Or he was there.
He was there,
it wasn't...
but that was Samuel L. Jackson from the 90s.
But Clark Gregg as well.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look super different. He just looked a bit more kind of less wrinkly.
His skin's more stretched and tighter. Yeah.
And
Samuel L. Jackson.
I was upset there wasn't enough Phil Coulson for me. Because he's brilliant. I love Phil Coulson.
Yeah.
He's a great character. And I hope he comes back for Endgame. I hope he comes out of hiding. Because there's a thing now online. I'm going to take this off again. Sorry.
Let's go for it.
There's a thing now online where it's like, well, Fury clearly knows Coulson is alive because he's been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, I see. Okay,
he was in the first episode, I think, of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he knows Phil Coulson's alive. And he basically made him head of S.H.I.E.L.D. when S.H.I.E.L.D. dissolved after Hydra in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But since then, S.H.I.E.L.D. has kind of got back on its feet, and Stark will clearly know about it because it's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And he knows pretty much everything. He's got the ability to kind of hack things and know. Mm-hmm. Captain America might even know because he's kind of the leader of what is now the Avengers / S.H.I.E.L.D. So he will probably know as well.
Yeah.
So there's probably a couple of those characters who won't be massively shocked if Coulson appears.
Yeah, they've all known all along
that
he's,
But anyway.
Bring back Tahiti.
Headcanon again.
Yeah. But it will be cool if they do bring him back.
Yeah.
Because he's seriously underutilised in all of the Marvel films.
Yeah.
I mean, he was only in Avengers and this.
No, he was in like all the Iron Mans.
Oh, was he? No, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was in Thor as well.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a massive part of getting the team together. He was the reason they all came together in the first place. He was recruiting them on behalf of Nick Fury.
Yeah, he was going around and talking to them all, wasn't he? Yeah. That's a good point.
And then his death was the thing that brought all the Avengers together in the Avengers to eventually go and fight Loki.
Nick Fury played them all with the cards in his pocket.
Yeah.
I've seen that film twice in the last 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to go back.
I watched it at home and then I went to Liz's parents' house and her dad was watching it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll watch it again, fine. I think that was the next day. I was like, yeah, I'll watch it, it's fine. Because it's a fantastic film. You forget how good it is.
But yeah, the whole de-aging thing that they're doing at the moment is so incredible. Seamless now that I didn't have any uncanniness
it was weird.
With Sam Jackson.
I completely forgot it was it wasn't him. That's not makeup.
Yeah. Like the second go round, I was like, I'm going to watch.
I'm going to look for it, yeah.
For any kind of wobble or any unnatural look at, and it's unreal.
Yeah, it's so good. What I mean, it's real.
Yeah. But it's just there is no uncanny valley anymore in that kind of setup. It's so weird.
So, I'm trying to think of specific
He was great.
Things.
He was really good.
He was really good in it.
Because you got that whole he's S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of
young.
Yeah, they're still not really on top of.
At the beginning, when Coulson and Fury first got into it, I know who they are.
Yeah.
But at the start of it, I sort of thought, are they not part of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet? Are they just cops or something? The way they're acting is they don't know about these alien species. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure, you fell from this. Yeah. All right, then. And then, like, Nick goes to his office, and then there is the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo. I'm like, oh, so it is S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like they're... Like, it's almost like a buddy cop movie, that first part.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. But it shows up his kind of super spy skills.
Yeah.
Because he gets totally taken in by the one who's impersonating Coulson.
Yeah.
Until Coulson radios in. And then he's like, right, I've got to watch out for this. So he tests the Ben Mendelsohn, his boss, when he gets into the lift, where he's talking about, like, because Carol tells him that, like, you've got to tell me a thing that you,
that's it, yeah.
like,
that only you would know.
Only you would know from, like, your past or something. Because, like, they can replicate you down to the DNA level, but they don't have your distant memories. Yeah. And so he tries that thing with Ben Mendelsohn on the way into the lift where he says about a pincer movement like in Havana. And he's like, yes, just like in Havana. And he gives him that sideways look as the doors close, and you're like,
yeah, he knows.
He knows.
Yeah, it's...
And then there's that trust as well between Coulson and Fury, where he catches him in the stairwell, points his gun at him, and he lets him go.
Yes. Yeah, so they're already sort of...
Because Coulson is brand new, isn't he? He's like just enlisted. He's a newbie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he is, isn't he? He's like the new recruit, whereas sort of Fury's already been there for a while. I'm trying to think of other things as well. So that part... So they didn't do quite so well with the trailers for this, because there's a lot of stuff they showed in the trailers that would have been much better had they not. So, like, the crashing into Blockbuster was spoiled.
Yeah.
But then they kept, like, the 2 seconds later Radio Shack joke.
Yeah.
Sort of like... Yeah. They didn't need to do that joke twice, did they?
Not really.
But they kept one of them secret. And then the old lady on the tram, on the train...
when they had to show the fact that she wasn't really an old lady.
Yeah, like, they shouldn't have shown any of that in the trailer at all. And you're like, oh, that's how she knows that the one on the train isn't going to be her. Like, they can't spoil it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. They spoiled that. But it would have been cool had they left it. The fact that we'd already seen that old lady in the trailer, when she walked past her as she was getting on the train, and you're like, oh, that's how she knows that the one on the train isn't going to be her. Like, they can't spoil it.
Like,
which is a shame. They spoiled that. But it would have been cool had they left it.
And that whole...
It was still funny, watching her punch an old lady.
They're talking to the scroll in the house.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and then she looks outside, and she's...
Yes.
Yeah.
With the...
That was sinister.
With the daughter. That was really cool, yeah. And that whole... the whole part where they're talking to the scroll in the house, and they're talking, and then she looks outside and she sees her daughter with a scroll that's the image of her. That was sinister.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you thought they were sort of bad guys. But then I think, was it Ben Mendelsohn who was talking to them in the house?
But I quite like the fact they didn't really explain what the hell
he was
flirking
being
is.
really funny.
I don't know.
He was really fucking good. Especially when the cat first came in. She goes, "Oh, get that thing away from me!"
Yeah.
So what? The cat? That's not a cat. That's a flirkin.
Eat something. Yeah. And that whole thing between Sam Jackson and Goose as well is.
But they saved the reveal. They say, I mean, the flirkin is obviously an alien species that looks like a cat up until it wants to hurt somebody.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because he has two eyes.
Yeah.
And then the cat scratches him, and that's what is the reason that he wears the patch.
Which goes downhill.
But it's not a regular cat.
A little bit at the end.
So whatever is in that.
I'm not sure if I like that they've explained that.
Because he said, "Oh, it's just a scratch."
Well, it's really funny.
Like, nah.
That's why he wears the patch.
Yeah.
Because the cat scratches his eye.
I remember reading something somewhere years ago about how he lost his eye, and I heard it was Wolverine.
Okay.
Nah. And then us knowing that Nick Fury ends up with a patch, that's funny.
But technically they can. Because, But, I heard it was Wolverine, but then you think like those scratches weren't far enough apart to be Wolverine's claws.
Which would make sense in that world.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Right at the end, like,
in this universe.
he didn't tell Coulson the reason
now.
that he lost his eye, or he lost his sight in his eye. It's like, is it true that they took your eye out?
So maybe that's his cover story, and it's always been.
I can neither confirm or deny.
Chewie all along.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Or Goose.
Oh, so
yeah.
When they, so the whole thing was.
Yeah.
I remember rightly. The Skrull wanted this.
Yes.
Drive or whatever because they needed.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so when they, so the whole thing was.
Yeah, I think they needed the technology to just get away.
Wanted
essentially, is like round up the rest of the Skrulls and
because
get the fuck
needed.
out.
Well, they needed the ship because they needed to know the location of something. Was what they were after, wasn't it? And the power source or blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think they needed.
She was working with the US Air Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Developing technologies.
But she also had her own lab.
But the rest of the Skrulls were on Earth, or somewhere near Earth. They had been on Earth, and then what happened in Marvel was she was working with the US Air Force, wasn't she? Developing technologies.
Refugees,
basically.
She had her own lab up in orbit where she was working on other stuff. But she already found out that the Skrulls were basically victims. They were war victims. They were refugees, basically, yeah. But she knew that already, and she hid them in her lab in Earth orbit, which was cloaked, which was really cool. But she was also hiding something else up there, and it was Liz has this thing, and it was watching the first Marvel film or something, or the first Captain America, the first Avenger, where she got really fucking tired of me saying the name Tesseract.
Yeah.
So when they went up there and they were finding something, I'm like, I know what that's going to be.
Not sure.
She's going to get well pissed off. And then it said something.
It depends
Tesseract,
when Steve Rogers was found in the
I just heard it.
The Tesseract was definitely with
I knew it.
plane that went into the
because I knew it was going to be the Tesseract, because the Tesseract had to have come from somewhere, which confused us, didn't it? We texted about this.
Because it was Red Skull had the Tesseract.
Yes. Fight on the plane. Yeah. Second
World War.
Yeah.
So he had
the Tesseract. So when was he thawed out?
They were on the big kind of flying wing bomber thing, and they were fighting, and the Tesseract banished.
Because it was Red Skull had the Tesseract.
And now we know where he is.
Second World War? First World War.
And then I believe that
so
the Tesseract
he had the
must
Tesseract
still be on
Steve
that plane
Rogers
with Steve Rogers when it went into the ground, when it went into the ice. So the only way that you can get around it is that when he was thawed out, someone from the US military found it, and maybe it was Marvel.
Yeah.
Was in what?
So Marvel was looking for a power source, wasn't
he?
Yeah.
She was working with the US Air Force.
Yeah.
So maybe she was able to track.
You've got.
Yeah, maybe.
So she was the one who located Rogers, and that's
so
the military.
Marvel was looking for a power source like that, wasn't she? For the hyperdrive, she was working with the US Air Force, so maybe she was able to track the signature.
Because then I was like, oh, but wait, because the Tesseract is in that underground bunker at S.H.I.E.L.D. at the beginning of Avengers.
Like he worked for them.
Because Loki comes through.
Well, they were looking for him anyway, weren't they?
Loki pokey sticks those
so
people
perhaps
and
that's how they found it, because she was working with the US Air Force.
So S.H.I.E.L.D. has it.
And she needed that.
Yeah, because the Flurkin eats it and then sicks it up on Fury's desk.
Yeah.
But it was just that bit between First Avenger and this film.
I'm assuming then, it must have been Marvel.
Yeah, so S.H.I.E.L.D. have the Tesseract at the end of Captain Marvel.
When she came to Earth, she must have been tracking something.
So she works with the US
Fury's desk, yes.
To find what she wanted, and she was finding Steve.
Yeah, so I'm assuming then, it must have been Marvel who knew what it was on Earth.
It's probably the only.
She needed it, so she located.
It's probably the only way that you can.
So she works with the US Air Force to find what she wanted, and she was finding Steve for them.
They don't need to.
She got it. They
could, but there's no real. Well,
there we go. We fixed it.
Yeah, but. You know, I still think in some areas that the mystery is fine. They don't need to explain it, whatever. Which we have, yeah.
No, they won't be. They don't need to. They can't.
So
they should have explained it in this film if they were gonna.
It was artificial intelligence, wasn't it? It was, but
Which we had.
yeah, I can't remember.
But that,
Yeah,
so yeah, the whole
the Wizard of Oz.
there's that whole thing, isn't there, with the Kree where they connect with. What is it? What do they call
see, that it takes the
but what do
form
they call
of
it?
someone
The
they
mother
look up
voice,
to.
the something, the big I am, the giant talking head, whatever it is. Yeah, but they sort of get tapped into their brain, and the artificial intelligence shows them.
Yeah, because it's telling her she's got an inhibitor chip, because she's got the powers from the beginning, hasn't she?
So it's when
but
she
she's got
gets
some sort of
tapped into
inhibitor
that
chip
when
in her
she's on
neck
that lab.
that stops her.
Is when she's like and that's where that montage comes in of her rising up after she's been beaten
Turns out
down.
she was the pilot that died in the crash, but she didn't really.
Yes.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, so she got the powers when she was
like gamma
using
rays.
the plane with the light drive, wasn't she? With Marvel.
Yeah.
In that crash, but as the core exploded, she absorbed
but
the powers.
they couldn't keep
somehow.
They couldn't allow her to have all that power to herself because she poses a
Exactly,
threat.
just because. So she absorbed all of that, so she became the power source. Which is why the Kree wanted her, because they needed the power source.
Yeah.
But they
Restrained her, haven't they? They've inhibited her powers and restrained her, and then she's. How did she deactivate it again?
Basically.
So they inhibited her.
And then she kind of rips it out, doesn't she?
And when she's talking to the giant talking head,
that was
when
like
she's on that
the
lab, when
moment
they've sort of
that
restrained her,
I was
and
like,
they've
right,
inhibited
this
her
is it
powers and
now.
restrained her, and then she's.
The only
how does
thing
she
that I've got to say
deactivate
about
it
that
again?
is like
I think she just
then
overloads
can
it.
just fly and is okay with it. You know,
Yeah, and
she knows
and
that she
then
can just fly into
just
space
fucking
and stuff.
destroys
Like,
everything.
They do that anyway because of the.
yeah, she could have. Yeah, the suit is allows her to do it, which is quite cool because it has the mohawk thing, which is
Superman syndrome.
how that's airtight. I'm not
But
sure.
now it's,
Doesn't matter. It looks cool.
It does.
but I think they do that anyway because of the suit they've got.
Yeah. She should.
So it's the force protecting.
Of course it was.
Fuck it, it doesn't matter. It looks cool.
Poor old Akbar.
If Princess Leia can do it, so can Captain Marvel.
Except she doesn't. That we know about.
Yeah, anyway.
So
It's the Force protecting her.
that's
okay.
the thing, isn't it? Is she going to become one of those characters that's just a bit too powerful?
But she does now
there's no sense
suffer
of jeopardy
that
at all.
Superman syndrome.
In the comics, does she have
Except
like
she
a
doesn't
kryptonite?
have any weakness that we know about.
No.
I mean, just based on the last sort of half an hour of that film, Thanos is fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
does she like punch a ship?
I mean,
Like, she's punching shit.
Yeah. She's basically
far
like
as I'm
beating
aware.
up like spaceships.
I mean, just based
She
on
like
the
because she
last sort of
flew
half
right
an
through
hour
one of the
that film,
accuser
Thanos
crafts
is fucked.
and just blew this.
Like,
Yeah, just.
does she like punch a ship? Like she's punching ships and.
I mean, it's at the end as well, where like, oh, we're going to take the scroll.
Yeah, and when that
Yeah.
the lab is.
She doesn't get on the ship.
Not
She
going to
just
get on the ship.
flies through
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
At the same warp speed or
As the
light
ship.
Oh yeah,
speed
she's
as the
yeah
ship.
just
Yeah.
like.
Oh,
my
right,
God.
okay.
And-
That's cool.
But I mean,
Right,
it's at
so
the end as well, where
essentially
like,
she's
oh, we're
the
going to
most
take
powerful
the
being in the
scroll to the new
universe.
planet or whatever, and she doesn't get on the ship.
Yeah.
She just flies through space
Galactus, even maybe.
as the ship does. Yeah.
But,
And it's like, yeah, of course she does.
I can't remember what it is.
I did like how they
More powerful than Ego. Like,
Oh, did you not?
not particularly.
yeah, fucking
In
hell.
that it can just be like reconfigured.
It's like an RGB picker, isn't it?
I didn't like
Yeah.
how they changed the colour of her suit. Not particularly.
Yeah. It's weird that you like
It's like
why
an RGB
have a
picker, isn't it,
uniform
when you,
that
like,
has an
like,
option to
they've
change
basically
all the colour. Like,
photoshopped
it
her
seems
suit.
weird, doesn't
Why
it?
is that an option?
I wasn't a fan. I didn't really like that.
That was a bit strange.
I love the suit.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It's just.
I quite like the end bit where, like, you know, Jude Law's character is like, right, you've got to fight me without your powers. This is the only way that you can.
Why is that an option?
You can. She just blasts him in the face.
It's
It's like, no.
yeah, it's a bit odd, but
Yeah.
it was,
Where I say
fine.
there's no agenda. There was no agenda in Captain Marvel.
Right, you've got to fight me without. Oh, it's
It
definitely
was
like
sort of like he was mansplaining.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was like, fuck off.
yeah.
Like mansplaining to me.
It was super feminist.
Yeah, he's sort of telling her off, isn't he?
But you kind of expected that, right?
Where I say there's
Like
no
Black
agenda,
Panther was super
there was no
African-y.
agenda in Captain Marvel.
Like, you know, I don't know
was
what else to
sort
say.
of like he was mansplaining and she
it was
like, fuck off.
Afrofuturism and it was
Like
empowerment
mansplain to
for
me.
African Americans and stuff.
It
like that.
was.
It definitely
It's
was.
the same.
It was kind of like we are going.
Yeah, it's fine, African.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Or
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
the most
it was just,
powerful
it was, I just,
people.
Yeah. And yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there was Princess Leia. Yes.
it definitely was. It
Yeah,
was
but
kind of
there's
like
you
we
can
are
name
going
them on
to
the
celebrate
fingers of one
these
hand.
people in cinema that usually don't get celebrated. And
No.
yes,
Team.
yeah, and yes,
Yeah.
you've got there was Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Yes, there was Ripley. Yes,
Like
there was this.
this-
Yes, there was that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it also wasn't Princess Leia didn't do it alone.
Yeah.
Ripley had a team for some of it. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
It was a bit.
but
It
this
was a bit.
Captain Marvel pretty much
Yeah.
just did it herself.
Yeah.
I mean, she had Nick Fury helping her, but then all the Avengers do. I didn't like that her nickname was Avenger. Carol Avenger Danvers. Didn't like it.
First.
Didn't like that.
Yeah.
Shoehorned that in there. Why can't
Except
this
he
be
wasn't known
Avengers?
as the Avenger
Because my issue with that,
until the only reason they
This was
called
set
it
in the
that
80s.
is because it
Carol
was the
Avenger
last
Danvers,
film
that's where he
before
got
the
the name
Avengers
from.
came out, and he was the
Captain
last
America,
character.
the first
Yeah.
Avenger, set in
Yeah.
the 40s.
Yeah, yeah. It's a clunky title, Captain America: The First Avenger.
It was fine.
It,
Up until
yeah,
I think it was fine up until
this film.
now.
And technically, he's the
She's
oldest
the original
Avenger, so
Avenger.
he
Well,
was the
okay,
first
he's the first
of the
Avenger, but she's the
Avengers.
original Avenger,
Yeah,
and she's the
it
ultimate
was
Avenger
fine.
because she's about to
Up
come.
until-
She's about to.
I think it was fine up until
Yeah.
now.
That never
she's
made any sense to me
the
whatsoever.
reason they are called the Avengers.
But she's now, the ultimate
Yeah.
Avenger because she's going to come back and save everyone.
Why not? Yeah, it's like the Xbox
and
One.
she does
like
show
it's
up
not
to
the first
Avengers at the end of the
Xbox,
film as well.
but
in
it's the Xbox
post-credits.
One.
No, the mid
No.
credit.
Yeah, that's me.
Because the post credit
No.
is Goose chucking up the Tesseract.
And she fucking is.
It was just so funny because it's
Because we've all seen cats do
in the
that,
post-credits.
and you know what's
No,
going.
yeah, that's mid credits. Post credits is
like a hairball.
Goose throwing up the Tesseract. All over.
That was my
Oh.
favourite. Like
It was just so funny because it was.
Sam Jackson using Goose as a weapon,
It's like it's
Go
a
on,
flurkin,
do your
but it
thing.
still coughs up like a hairball,
and it knows that they're
and it coughs up
actually
a Tesseract.
the Skrulls and the good guys.
What?
Yeah, it's good.
He goes up and sort of crawls. Does that brushing up.
Choose a side.
Oh yeah.
It's really good
Yeah.
fun. I would almost go out on a limb and say it was better than
Scroll,
Black
yeah,
Panther.
so it doesn't do anything. And it goes
I
up
know
and
that that's
sort
an
of crawls,
unpopular opinion.
does that brushing up against their legs and stuff. Yeah,
It was more fun. I think.
it's just, it was great. It was great. I don't.
Bearing in mind, like I say, Captain Marvel is
Wow.
probably my favourite of the Marvel characters.
Yeah,
You were more invested. I
it
feel.
definitely is.
In
That
that.
Black Panther had more of a message.
Yes.
It was definitely more fun. Bearing in mind, like I say, Captain
Oh
Marvel
yeah,
is
definitely. Like it
probably my
explained
favourite
and in
Black
of the
Panther
Marvel characters, my favourite of the Avengers.
film.
yeah.
I feel that Black
Yeah.
Panther had more of a message. I feel like it told more of a story.
Told a really good story. And it's like, it is a better film.
So Black Panther, I feel, was a better film. If you want to talk about filmmaking, Black Panther it didn't rely on the cheap Marvel tricks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It told a really good story, and it was like
But it's
it
okay,
is a
tell me.
better film.
It is, I mean, it's like when
Captain
Wonder Woman
Marvel
sort
is
of
just
finds the
such
power
good fun,
that
and I will watch that
oh my fucking
endlessly.
God, like,
Yeah.
it's just-
Just when she gets those powers and she just starts destroying stuff. It's like when you haven't seen Wonder Woman.
Right.
It is. I mean, it's like when Wonder Woman sort of finds her power, and you're just watching it like, oh my fucking god! Like it's just,
It's like my
just
favourite
going.
film is The Matrix.
Yeah.
It's not the best film.
It's
I've
not a
ever seen.
great
Possibly say
film.
Wonder
It's a
Woman's a better
spectacle,
film
and you
as
have
well.
fun watching it.
Yeah,
It's the same. It's the same as this,
It's
basically.
weird.
It's the
Like, I
same.
think it's a better film, but I prefer Captain Marvel. It's weird to say that, but
Yeah.
it's like my favourite film is The Matrix.
And I'm really
It's not the
looking
best
forward
film I've
to
ever
seeing
seen.
what like it's
No.
only a month. It's not even a month now
Yeah.
until
Yeah, it's
until
the same-
Endgame.
It's the same way, yeah. Like
Well,
I say,
no,
Black
it's not,
Panther, Wonder
because
Woman,
Spider-Man
better films.
It's Far
Captain
From Home
Marvel's a lot
and
more fun to watch.
Black Panther 2
A lot more fun to
and
watch.
Guardians
But,
of Galaxy
yeah.
3. But yeah, there's no way
even a
that
month now,
you
is
get
it?
through this. You get
Is
through
this the end?
Endgame without Iron Man or Captain America
Spider-Man
or
Far
both
From
dying. One of them
But
has
is this
to
the
die,
event- the end-
and
the
it's
end of the
probably going to
Avengers?
be Tony Stark.
Because he's the one that started it.
Yeah, it's all his fault. Everything is Tony Stark's fault. Everything is Tony Stark's fault.
Yes.
He
Actually,
he's the one who starts the
actually
Avengers
dying.
Initiative with Nick Fury. He's the first
Because
one to
he's
sign
the
up
one that
to it,
started it.
and then signs up Thunderbolt Ross
You started
at the end
this.
of the Hulk to kind of come
Yes.
in, and he's got an agenda against the Hulk anyway, which comes into the Sokovia thing. But the Sokovia thing, the whole
Yeah.
thing with Ultron is his fault because he built Ultron because it was a defense mechanism that went rogue because it became sentient.
Yeah.
He
So Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch came into it because
Yeah.
they had something against
Because of the weapons.
because it was
Yeah.
Stark Industries weapons that killed their parents.
Yeah.
that destroyed their home.
Yeah. But then you also had
Most
Quicksilver and
things are Tony
Scarlet Witch
Stark's
came
fault.
into it because
yeah.
they had something against Tony Stark because it was his weapons. It was Stark Industries weapons
Something
that
to
killed
do
their
with
parents
the,
and
the
destroyed
Avengers
their
film is his
home.
fault as well. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
No, well, they used Stark Tower.
Yeah, pretty much.
in
Yeah.
New York to open the portal. don't
Yeah,
they?
Yeah.
that's not really his fault.
Yeah,
I
Ultron
guess.
was definitely his
Because
fault,
that's the
wasn't
only
it?
building with the energy. And
Yeah.
Something to do with the Tesseract.
Yeah.
What was his fault in that?
No, well, they use Stark Tower as the highest point
Maybe
in
there
New
was
York to
something like
open the portal, don't they?
But yeah, it all
Because
kind
that's
of-
the only
it all
building
kind of
with
stems
the
from
energy,
him.
enough
And the
energy.
arc-
Oh no, because the energy comes from the Tesseract.
We are Team Cap.
What was his fault in?
I don't know
that?
whether I am.
No?
I don't. I never
No.
chose a side. I don't think.
I feel a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's only it's all Tony Stark's fault because we are Team Cap.
And yeah, so you know,
Basically.
I'm proper stoked.
No,
To be fair, the whole clip
Yeah.
was Star-Lord's fault
Yes, that's
there's
true.
pros and cons
Yeah.
to both, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he got distracted.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, Thanos probably would have got it eventually.
Yeah, I think he probably would
Would
have.
have got it back.
Yeah.
To be fair,
But
the,
I just
the whole
want
clip.
to see what happened to those people, how
Star-Lord's
they're going to
fault.
come back, like what is going to happen. How
Because
Ant-Man
he got
gets out of the
distracted.
quantum realm.
And yeah,
all
I
the
mean,
stuff.
to be fair, Thanos probably would have got it eventually anyway. He
It's
would have got
exciting.
it back.
Like this feels, honestly, this feels like the end.
Over 3 hours long, so they can explain all of it.
But I don't care.
It's not
I'm
gonna feel
such a
Mm.
mark for this
right.
shit.
Is there going to be an intermission?
Interesting. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know
And
though.
thankfully, it's over 3 hours long, so they can explain all of it.
There's a website
It's
though
not
that you
going to
can
feel
go
like
to.
it at all. Is there going to be an
the-
intermission?
People
Yes. it tells you
log
the
the best point to go.
It's a
when,
long
like,
time to
there's
sit and
the
watch a film.
least
They've got to
happening.
give you a
Are you
toilet
gonna leave
break.
it long enough for that to get uploaded to that website?
Probably not. No.
Before we see it.
No. I probably won't do the midnight screening because fuck. being
Yeah,
up
so it
until
tells you
4
the
o'clock in
point,
the morning.
what time to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Do
I've
you
never
think we're
been
going
to
to
a
leave it
midnight
long enough
screening
for
of
that
anything,
to get
to be fair,
uploaded
so
to that
it's not
website?
gonna happen.
No, before we see it.
Yeah. But yeah, it feels really exciting because it's all coming together now. Like,
Watching the Avengers though.
yeah.
Watching
And
Endgame.
if you're into it like we're into it,
I have.
it's like
Several.
it's
Generally
the
Star Wars.
culmination of 10 years of watching these stories.
this is what it's all building up
Yeah,
to.
yeah. And I know there's going to be stuff.
This is
beyond
such a
it,
huge
but,
event.
Like, I almost feel like this is going to be the jumping off point for a lot of people. I don't.
Go, fuck this.
Yeah.
I've done enough.
Like, I've done 10 years worth and I'm out.
This is what
and
it's
I think
all
the films are
been
going to
building
have
up
to get
to.
less
Like,
entangled with each other, maybe, unless they really double down on like like.
Because this whole
people are going to go, fuck this. I've done enough.
It kind of did because Iron Man crossed into it at the very end.
Yeah.
I still like that film.
Yeah. I thought
More standalone, because this whole thing.
Yeah. The best is so much better than the Eric Bana.
Start with the Incredible Hulk.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They called him David Banner, innit?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
David Banner.
I think Bruce was his dad.
I thought the Ed Norton
played by
Hulk
Nick
film was
Nolte, I think.
really good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it.
I
hell.
really liked the Ed Norton Hulk film.
Purely for did they call him? They called him David Banner in it.
But
didn't
Mark
they?
Ruffalo is
He wasn't
brilliant.
Bruce Banner in it. He was David Banner.
Yeah.
Well, he's very good.
What the fuck? Anyway,
Except his
yeah, no, I really liked the Ed Norton Hulk.
Yeah,
film.
they still
I
can't
thought
get
it
that, can
was-
they? Whenever a
that
character's
was
head
so
is
good.
superimposed on a. Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo is a better Bruce Banner.
Yeah, because
Well,
in
he's
the trailer,
he's very
it was
good.
the Hulk inside the Hulk.
Except
That's
his
right,
weird
yeah.
head in the Hulk
Yeah,
Buster.
it was.
armor.
And this is what I mean. They're doing this more and more, aren't they?
Yeah. What was that theory?
That was dumb.
Shit.
I can't believe they did that. Yeah, because in the trailer, it was the Hulk inside the Hulk
reason
Buster armor.
Bruce Banner couldn't call on Hulk. It's because
Yeah.
that was actually Loki.
What was that theory?
Oh right.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
But then Marvel
There
put
was a
out
theory
that big poster this
that I've
week
heard
with
that
Avenge the Fallen.
the
and
reason
Loki is definitely
Bruce
in
Banner
the
couldn't
dead category.
call on Hulk
Well, as in-
He's one of the greyed out
because that
characters.
was actually Loki.
Because
it's in the
oh, have you not?
I've seen
Oh
some
right.
of the posters.
Yeah. There's like all 32 characters or something, and the ones that are alive
Avenge
are
the
in
Fallen.
colour, and the ones that are dead are in black and white. But obviously snapped.
Snap.
Well,
But
as in-
also Tom Hiddleston is in this. in
oh, I've
the
not actually
Avenge
seen the full
Fallen.
poster. I've seen
But
some
he's
of the
in grey.
posters.
So like,
So is there a chance he could come?
I don't know, man. It looked pretty final to me.
Dead in Snapped.
Snap. So like, Spider-Man is greyed out.
Yeah.
He's in
Do
grey.
you know who
yeah,
else
yeah.
is greyed out that everyone's
Okay.
really up in arms about?
So is there a
Shuri.
chance he could come?
We knew she was.
No, we didn't. You don't see a. You don't see a snap. You don't see a disintegrate.
Yeah, but then
Because we had this. We had
once
this
it was snapped,
conversation.
So like,
See it in the film.
Spider-Man is
Like,
greyed
in
out.
One of the trailers, she's in. You know, it's going through all
No.
the people that have been
Yeah, we
snapped.
knew she
She's
was.
one of them.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I didn't see
So
that.
she is in the trailers. as a
Okay.
greyed out one. As a-
okay, yeah, you don't see it.
But
in
we
the
never
film,
saw it on film,
but
and
in
people are going
one of the
apeshit on
trailers,
Twitter about it.
she's
Like,
in,
I'm not okay with this.
You know, it's going through all the people that have been snapped. She's one of them. Yeah, yeah.
What?
So
Right,
she is in
yeah,
the
yeah.
trailers as a greyed out one, as a snapped one, yeah. But
Somebody tweeted out.
I'm not okay with this.
yeah. No, Shuri. When it popped up in the trailer that Shuri was one of them, people were like, what? What the fuck? Like she wasn't great. I saw.
And it says.
Please,
"You don't
Siri.
need to avenge
Somebody
this one.
tweeted out.
Busted because she's one unnecessary garbage, which doesn't make
Fucking
sense.
out. So she calls herself at Amazon Hero Icon on Twitter.
You morons only say this
Um,
because she's
you-
black.
and
There's
it's
no
the
way a
Shuri one.
teenager can create and develop all this
And it
technology
says,
in Wakanda.
Why
You
not?
don't need to avenge this one. She could remain dusted.
It's all made up.
Because she's one unnecessary garbage, which doesn't make sense. Smarter person in the world, my ass. Smartest. You morons only say this because she's black. There's no way a teenager can create and develop all this technology in Wakanda. Bullshit.
But Shuri can fuck herself because I look to.
And one of our friends, Liam, put this amount of stupid destroys brain cells. Wakanda cannot
Yeah.
evolve with help
Yeah.
from a teen in a universe where we have the likes of
It
Thor,
makes no
Luke Cage,
sense.
Captain Marvel, freaking Spider-Man is a teen and has done
Yeah.
amazing things. But Shuri can fuck herself because I
Yeah,
look
it's
to
stupid. People have got
like to
really-
look stupid. So he's basically like, you've got all these people and you're worried about Shuri with all this technology. I mean, look at fucking Spider-Man.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a
He's a
bloke with
teen
one
who
glowing
creates
fist that
amazing
when he hits
technology.
things, they explode.
What the fuck are you talking about?
can't have a black teenage girl.
Hey, look, there's a
Who's
man
clever?
with like skin as slick as
What's he
steel. Like he can
saying?
bend all this shit. He's bulletproof.
Place where
But this team
it
can't
was
create
actually
stuff.
developing technology
What the fuck are you
before
talking
she's
about?
born, So she's grown up learning
Yeah.
these technologies.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah,
actually
but
makes
Shuri
more sense than
can't have a
fucking
black
Iron
teenage girl
Yeah.
creating
Yeah.
technology. Yeah.
Oh dear.
In a place where
Yeah.
it was actually
But-
developing technologies before she was born, so she's grown up learning
Yeah,
these
easily.
technologies.
Yeah.
You know,
Easily.
it actually makes more sense than fucking Iron Fist.
But overall, Captain Marvel's great, and we're really looking forward to Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
so
you-
somebody's up in arms about it for a different
Yeah.
reason.
Well, it's so close together. It's
They
the
don't
first
like
time
it,
there's
and
been
she was
two
one of the best
in
things
like a
about Black
month,
Panther.
2 months.
She was great.
I know. I literally can't wait.
Anyway, but Captain Marvel, anyway.
I know I have to, but I don't want to.
Yeah, it's turned into a bit of an end game.
Did you want to do Into the Spider-Verse as
Yeah.
well? Or are you're getting into your 20th hour of being awake?
I should have got sponsored for this.
Hey,
Yeah. Talking of which,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we didn't do it in the intro, did
No,
we?
didn't. Oh well.
You're doing the London, not Brighton Marathon. Sorry, Brighton.
Again on
we could
Sunday the 14th of April.
20th hour. I should have got sponsored for this.
Raising charity.
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that
good
when
point.
Endgame comes out?
No, we didn't. Oh well.
I'm raising money for charity.
We'll tweet it. Brighton Marathon again on
I'll be running to the
Sunday the
cinema.
14th of April. So it's
Well,
like
mine,
less than
again,
3
but
weeks away.
This time, rather than doing it for the national
Yeah, and I'm raising
charity.
charity.
Satellite.
Oh fuck.
Okay.
I'm raising money for
Yeah.
charity.
So the money goes directly to the mind as a whole.
I'll be
Recently
running to the
they've
cinema.
done a huge amount of work. They've had an extension.
For Mind again, but this time rather than doing it for the national charity of Mind, I'm
Yeah.
doing it for our local satellite Mind. So that's Maidstone and Mid Kent Mind. So the money goes directly to them rather than Mind as a whole.
Okay.
And recently they've been doing a huge amount of work. They've had an extension built. They've sort of done their garden.
100% it goes.
Okay,
And I
cool.
think
Whereas things like Virgin Money giving,
What is
and
the-
Just Giving, take a percentage.
what is the link?
as
It's
like a
total
processing
giving.
fee.
I think
It's
because
total
the
giving.
reason they use total giving is because they don't take a portion of the charity, like any money that is donated. 100% of it goes to the charity.
Marathon.
Whereas things like Virgin Money Giving and Just Giving take a percentage
Excellent.
as like a processing fee.
So go and
So
support.
it's
totalgiving.co.uk. And obviously
totalgiving.co.uk.
we'll pop that out on the other
I
socials,
believe
and we'll
it's
talk
/
about it
marathon.
next time too. There's enough time.
Spelled
Right?
correctly this time.
Ooh, it'll squeak in. maybe.
Marathant.
I bet it's the same.
It's probably the same weekend, isn't it? Yeah.
Don't donate, yeah.
Yeah.
31st,
We'll tweet it as well, yeah.
7th and 14th. Yes.
Okay then.
It's the same
Cool.
weekend. Cool.
Righto.
Pre-record it is.
Squeaking.
Yeah.
Actually, I bet it's
And
the
also,
same
it's the next
fucking
week.
weekend.
Endgame comes
Again.
out. So you'll be okay. You'll have covered. The week after. Yeah.
31st,
When I'll be working.
7th and then 14th, yes. It's the same weekend. Cool. Pre-record it is.
It's all right.
But yeah,
Means you get to go during the day when no one's
it's next
in
week.
there.
So it's the 7th.
Yeah.
Oh, the week after,
If you can do
21st.
this after a night shift,
when I'll be working.
you can go and watch Endgame for 3 hours
A nice, comfortable.
Oh well.
and fall asleep.
It's like dark, where it's dark. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't get spoiled. Good point.
yeah, I think Captain Marvel.
Very good
like
point.
I say, I know this is a spoiler cast, but just to
I can go and watch Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go and sit in a nice, comfortable, warm cinema while it's with like dark, where it's dark. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I think Captain Marvel, like we say,
I didn't expect
I know
it to be. I
this is a
wasn't
spoiler cast,
really
but
going to
just
go
telling
and
you,
see
it's
it.
great.
Can
we briefly go through Spider-Verse?
seen it well
I can't
past.
remember specifics.
And
of
I
it,
had a
really.
free, day or
It's
afternoon or
fucking
something.
amazing, though, isn't it?
And it's a comic
Yeah.
book film, and people were, saying really, really good things about it, and they're all
Yeah.
warranted. It's brilliant.
And people saying it's the best Spider-Man.
So you might as well.
I think it is, yeah.
And it's a comic book film.
Homecoming was really good, but
Homecoming is brilliant. The thing is, because this is an animated Spider-Man film, they can make it a lot.
And people saying it's the best Spider-Man film out there.
Yeah.
It
You can't do
is.
that.
no.
Because the thing is,
No, because it's got to be grounded in
Homecoming's
some
brilliant.
sense of
The
reality.
thing is,
because you're
because
shooting
this
live
is an
action.
animated Spider-Man film, they can make it a lot.
Live action multiverse.
They can make it just like the comics. Whereas you can't do that with Homecoming. Like, you can't do that with live action.
Yeah, it just would never be done, would it? Like,
Yeah,
especially when
and
you've got
can you
people like
imagine
Peter
doing
Porker.
like a multiverse, live action multiverse film? Like, I mean, they have,
Yeah.
technically, but can you imagine doing a live action multiverse film like Spider-Verse
Yeah.
did it?
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't the robot powered by a spider or something like that? Was that what it was? Yeah.
I liked Penny Parker as well. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Penny Parker, it's like the anime ones. Like this little girl who has a giant robot, Mecha Spider-Man.
Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir was fucking spot on.
Yeah, it's powered by
So
a radioactive.
funny.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the fact
powered
that-
by the radioactive spider, rather than
Yeah.
her getting
It's
bitten
like
by the
they're inside
radioactive
there,
spider.
like, is
She
there a
used
draft
it to
in
power
here?
this fucking robot. What?
And he can't figure out Rubik's Cube because he can't see in colour.
Spider-Man Noir was fucking incredible. His
Yeah,
coat's
I'm
just
gonna
constantly
take this
blowing
back
in the
out, we'll
breeze.
Figure it out.
There's a
But
There's a constant
scary
breeze wherever
villains,
he goes.
really scary villains. Like
He's great.
Kingpin, although looking like you
can't
would
see the
it's
colours, yeah.
crazy, like the dimensions.
And he
of
gets
him.
obsessed with it,
He's
though.
literally a brick shit house. Kills
oh,
Spider-Man
Jesus.
Right at the beginning.
right at the beginning. He actually kills
Yeah,
Peter Parker,
Kingpin was
the actual Peter Parker.
The real world people.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Dimensions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually just pounds him into the ground with
Yeah.
his fists. You don't kill Peter Parker. What?
Right at the beginning.
What the fuck
Yeah.
It makes Endgame look like
Yeah.
I was just
The
like,
real
wow.
world
So
Peter
then the
Parker.
stakes are
This
real
dimension
because
of
they're
Peter
killing
Parker.
the actual Peter Parker. And then, so when it comes to the bit where like Miles finds out that his uncle
What the
is
fuck
the
happened?
Prowler,
It makes Endgame look
top of
like
that house.
a Disney film.
scary as fuck. Like, and his theme tune is scary as well. That kind of
Yeah.
like dubsteppy kind of sound. He kills people, and there was. I just honestly went like
The Prowler,
he
who
lifts
is
up the Spider-Man
a
mask
terrifying
and it's Peter
villain.
Parker under there, and you can see him like
Yeah.
shocked because it's his nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miles. Did I not say?
And
yeah,
he
sorry.
kills people.
Sorry, Miles Morales. And then he puts he has to put the mask back down over Miles's face, and I'm like, fuck.
No, he sees him. He's like,
Oh, sorry,
fuck,
Miles
that's my
Morales.
nephew.
Yeah.
I can't
He's a
kill
Peter
him
Parker,
looking
yeah.
at it.
While I'm
Yeah.
looking at his face. Like, I can't kill him while I'm looking into his eyes. So I pull the mask down.
That
and
was
then I
so
watch it.
dark.
Because he's gonna kill him.
We haven't even mentioned.
Like he sees him, he's like,
No,
oh fuck,
Spider-Gwen
that's
was
my
great as well.
nephew.
And
I can't look at him while I'm looking at his face. Like I can't kill him while I'm looking into his eyes.
Yeah.
So I pull the mask down and then I will kill him.
alternative dimension.
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
The one at school was just normal Wednesday.
Yeah.
We haven't even
But
mentioned
actually,
Spider-Gwen.
she's the one from the other dimension,
But
isn't
she
she?
got there.
And
Like,
I
a week
thought it
before
was
everyone
cool
Yeah.
because
before everyone
at
else.
first, because I knew Spider-Gwen was going to be in it. At first, I thought it was going to be like an
Yeah.
alternative dimension Gwen Stacy,
Yeah,
and the one
she's
at
about to
school
become-
was just
he's
normal
about to
Gwen
become-
Stacy. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
But she got there like a week before everyone
Like
else,
she
or
was
2
the
weeks
brains.
before everyone else, joined the
Because then you
school
had Peter B. Parker,
because she
who was a
sensed that
schlubby
Miles Morales was
kind
like
of-
Spider-Man. or
He's been
whatever.
doing
Oh,
it
no,
for
she
years,
sensed it
and
at
he's
school,
just
didn't
bored
she?
by it.
So she enrolled as a student and had been there for a couple of weeks, and you're like, what the fuck? That was cool.
That's right. They split
Yeah.
up, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah.
Peter B. Parker, yeah.
He's got like a paunch.
He's the drunk
He's going
Peter
around in
Parker,
his
and he's-
sweatpants.
He was depressed because Mary Jane, like they were married, they'd split up and divorced, and he got depressed
Yeah, I
and
think,
started
yeah,
just
he was just
eating
yeah.
shit and drinking. He was overweight.
So you had
Fucking, and he was like, I think it was, wasn't he like planning to kill himself or something? I can't even remember. I might be making that up.
And then it turns out that
Or
Aunt May
he'd
is
just given up
basically
on
Alfred,
life and was just gave up on trying.
where she takes him into
Yeah,
the
so
shed and it
you
just
had Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane both in it, which is quite cool.
yeah, where it's got like the spider bike and the spider
it's-
copter and like
it
all
was-
the vehicles are in there that you've seen in like the animated series and things like that.
That
So
was
cool.
amazing.
I
The
liked
garden
the
shed
fact that
and it's
Dr.
like a
Octopus was
lift and it
woman.
goes down to like a big
I thought that was a really
spider
cool
cave, I
reveal
suppose it is.
when like he's at
Yeah.
he's at
the arms don't have to be big mechanical.
No, I love that
Absolute
because it's soft
genius.
robotics, which is a thing that actually happens in real life. They're stretchy and bendable,
that
and
was cool.
pneumatically operated by air pockets and stuff.
Yeah.
It's an actual real life version of something
and
that could
hey,
happen.
the
Because
arms
those
don't have to be
retractable
big
metal arms would
mechanical
have
pieces of
a
shit.
limitation at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah, that made so much sense.
Yes.
And her reveal was brilliant. Because you thought she was just some scientist.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Like some just timid scientist, and then it turns out she's actually got
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would
I can't
weigh a
remember
fucking
what her first
ton.
name is. It's not Otto, but it's
Yeah.
Olivia.
And
Olivia
her reveal
Octavius,
was
was
brilliant
it?
as well, because you thought she was just some scientist working for Kingpin.
Yeah.
You had that.
Like some just like timid scientist, and
Through
then
the
it turns
trees,
out she's
yeah.
actually Dr. Octavius.
Yeah, it's
And
people need to watch it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just the
Olivia
fact that one of
Octavius,
Miles's other
something like
things that I didn't realise was
but she
a thing
was
he
quite
goes
menacing.
invisible,
You had that scene
which
of
I didn't
them sort
realise
of
was a
chase
or his
through the
electric
woods.
powers or something like that. He had like a
Absolutely,
I
yeah,
don't know
it's
what
so
that was
good.
about, but yeah,
People need to watch it. It's
because the bit where
everything
he's trying
about
to
it's
sneak out
brilliant.
of the facility, and there's a bit where he throws
Yeah.
a bagel.
I didn't
at
know that
someone,
was a thing. Yeah,
and as it hits him on the head, there's a
Yeah.
little pop-up word that says bagel, rather than like pow or crash or whatever.
Bagel.
yeah.
Did you figure out that it was his uncle before you were supposed to? Or when did you figure
I
out?
can't
yeah.
remember if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, it's just
I
a
have
bagel.
a feeling I worked
Did you
out just
figure out that it was
before
his uncle before
it
you were supposed
happened.
Yeah.
but not by much.
to? Or when did you figure it out?
Because it was all that, oh, your uncle's out of town thing, and like, you know.
I figured it out when.
I worked out just before.
When was it?
Yeah.
Is it something his dad was saying?
There was a point. I
My
tried to get hold of him on the phone once. And I didn't figure it out. Then, but
I figured it out
Yeah.
when
phone,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get through to him, and I went.
when was it?
And Chloe's like, what? I said, nothing.
There was a
Wait
point.
for it,
Yeah.
'cause I knew it
They
was-
tried to get hold of him on the
it was a
phone
genius
once,
because, like, obviously his hates
and I didn't figure it out then. But I think it was the second time they tried to phone,
then
and they
you
couldn't
don't
get through to him, and I
realise
went,
at first that just
"Oh."
chamber is where-
and Chloe's like, "What?" I
It's the
said,
big
"Nothing."
collider thing. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just waited
And
for
you
it
don't
because I knew it was coming. Because it was just genius. Because like obviously he takes him down to that secret place that he knows about to go and do his graffiti art,
Peter B. Parker.
and then you don't realise
Yes.
at first that just off of that chamber is where Kingpin's big collider
No, it was with
is.
Peter Parker because
And you don't realise at
No,
first.
because he breaks in there
And
and,
it's
then
only
finds
when- it was
Spider-Man's
when-
there.
Tried to
He was down there.
disable it.
He was down there with Peter B.
Yeah,
Parker,
okay.
wasn't he?
Disable it. And it was as he
Or was
was
it when
running
he saw
away,
Peter
and then
Parker?
the villain
Oh, I can't remember. It was when he was down there. He was trying to run away.
The Prowler was chasing him, and he was trying to phone the Prowler. As the
No,
Prowler
it was the first time they tried
Right.
to
he was trying to phone, sorry, he was trying to
disable it. So it was with Peter B. Parker. The first time they tried to disable it.
Yeah,
And
because
it
then
was
he
as
goes
he
to
was
his
running
uncle's
away,
house,
and then
the Prowler
the villain-
comes back.
what's his uncle
and,
called?
Yeah,
The-
he goes invisible and has
The
to
Prowler
get back
was
out.
chasing him, and he was trying to phone the Prowler. As the Prowler was chasing him, he was trying to phone. Sorry, he was trying to phone his uncle as the
For an
Prowler was
anime,
chasing
because
him.
I was like, oh, I
I was
don't
like,
really do a lot of the
oh.
animated stuff.
And he's not there. Yeah, yeah.
But like I say, everyone was just raving about it, and I just thought, nah,
And I'm
fuck
like,
it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so well
despite
done.
my aversion to things that people usually, you know, but this really did deliver on everything, really.
the director's a friend of friends. So.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to. When people
Helping
are
him
talking
out.
about it the way
Because
they
it won
are.
the Oscar as well, didn't it, for Best Animated Feature, which is truly deserved. Because it also the thing with it was like everyone had each character had their own individual
Plus, you know,
animation
the
style
director's
as
a
well.
friend of a friend.
Like you had like Miles Morales and Peter Parkers were all
Yeah.
and Gwen.
Yeah.
The, yeah.
Yes.
Well, they were more kind
Yeah,
of 3D-ish than the others. And then Peter B. Parker is basically a 2D animation that they hand drew in the same style over the top of, like it was done.
Just cell shaded
as that
cartoon,
animation
like the
style.
comic book cell shaded.
And you also had Spider-Man Noir was a bit more comic booky. He was more 2D, I felt.
Penny Parker was animated.
He's like a
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, like
really?
out and out anime. Yeah,
I think she's even doing
Everything else.
yeah.
Jesus.
big eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the crescendo.
Penny Parker was animated.
There was that like
Just
super
genuinely
psychedelic
definite
thing
anime,
where they're
like-
fighting on like the
I think
bits
she's
of New
even
York
doing
City
the
that get getting sucked
peach
into the
fingers
portal.
and the big eyes and
It's all sort of collapsing because
Yeah, because essentially
Soapin's wanting to bring Vanessa back from the dead.
that's it. Yeah.
Vanessa and his son.
He's opening portals. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's opening portals trying to get his family
Yeah,
back because
yeah,
they
yeah.
died in that universe. But he's
yeah,
found out
because
there are
it's
other
all sort of
universes.
collapsing because it's Kingpin's wanting to bring Vanessa back from the dead. Vanessa and his son. His son? Yeah.
It becomes unstable and it starts sucking New York into it. And New York starts becoming really
Yes, so he's trying to pull them back from another universe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because Marvel. But in doing so, it becomes unstable because he's asking them to put more power in.
Yeah, it's
It
like
becomes
the
unstable
dimensions are all
and it starts
melding
sucking
together, aren't they?
New
Like the
York
fact that he's
into
opened
it.
this thing,
And New
is
York
meaning
starts
that all
becoming really
dimensions are
colourful
going to
and
eventually merge
trippy
into
and
one and it'll be
glitchy.
destroyed. So they have to close it.
Yeah,
but he's
it's...
intent
Oh,
on
no,
getting his
stuff
family
coming
back,
out of the portal, isn't it?
and that's the conflict.
But they also need the portal to be
Yeah.
because all the ones who have come from their
Yeah.
respective dimensions
Need to go back.
if they stay there they're going to end up
They'll
Yeah.
disappear.
exist completely.
Yeah.
So they need to get back into the portal to get home.
But they also need
Peter
the portal to be open because
hammer.
all the ones who
It'll
have
fit in
come
your
from
pocket.
their respective dimensions, if they stay there, they're going to end up just ceasing to exist completely. So they need to get back into the portal to get home.
But yeah, Peter Porker's probably proper New York.
Yeah.
I think it's a send up of like Looney Tunes.
He pulls out this massive mallet.
Yeah, I think so.
You can put it in your pocket. It's like, no, that's not how it
The
works in
kind
this
of Mel
universe.
Blanc voice. Yeah. So good.
But yeah, Peter
And that's
Porker's
out
probably
on
proper
Blu-ray
New
now, isn't
York.
it, I think.
I
Or
think
if
it's a
it's not,
send up
it's
of like
coming out
Looney
fairly soon.
Tunes and
But
Bugs
obviously we won't
Bunny's
put this
voice,
out
isn't
until
it?
Captain
Like,
Marvel comes out.
the
I
real
guess,
New York.
Or until
or
we need a
Boston,
week off, like in
whatever
2
it is.
weeks, for example.
Yeah.
No, then that might be the other one that comes out.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
Good point.
Yeah, I think
We
it
do
is,
have
yeah.
another one. Forgot about that. Bloody hell.
Old days.
Yeah, almost.
We don't know yet. In 2 weeks,
but
yeah,
just
maybe.
Two great films.
But
outstanding.
no, then that might be
outstanding.
the other one that comes out. then.
There's been some really fucking good films.
There have, as I
Have you
said
got
on the
another
main
one?
episode earlier on,
Gonna
go
have
and
two
watch The
banks.
Dirt,
Fucking hell.
because that's worth
Like the
a
old
watch.
days.
As we said 4 weeks ago, watch Alita.
Yes, yeah.
Two great films.
I haven't actually seen much since, actually.
There's been some really
Captain
fucking
Marvel
good
was
films
on the
coming out
11th of
recently.
March, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. Fuck, it feels like so long
Yes.
ago, though, doesn't it?
Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
As we said 4 weeks ago,
I want to go
watch
and see
Alita.
Dumbo,
If you
even though
can.
people are saying bad things about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything.
yeah.
But that
Captain Marvel into the...
sets me in the animated.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
tough watch.
Spider-Man into the
Tell
Spider-Verse.
you what looks better
Yep.
than it did when the first season trailer.
Oh, really? I've not heard anything, but that film
Yeah.
upsets
I
me
mean,
in the animated version. It's like, I don't know if I can
I
watch
think I've
it.
seen it.
It's a lot better than the original.
I tell you what looks better than it did when the first teaser
Yeah.
trailer came out.
But-
Aladdin.
Didn't look great. But
Actually
you can
doesn't
kind of
look
see
terrible
What they're aiming
now.
for.
Yeah.
The new trailer, the
Kind of
newest
want to see the
trailer,
remake of Pet Cemetery as well.
is a lot better than the original.
'Cause
When the
the original's
reveal of
quite good, but
Will
I
Smith
just
as
kind of
Genie.
wanna have a look
But
at that.
now it looks better.
Did you see that trailer that Andrew tweeted out?
Yeah.
Scary stories to tell.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Fuck
No.
completely.
I've not seen the original.
Guillermo del
so-
Toro is amazing, but like that looks too scary for me.
How about, did you see
Fisherman
that
Friends, I want to
trailer that
see as
Andrew
well,
tweeted at
which is
us?
kind of like
Scary
one
stories
of
to
those
tell in the
twee
dark.
British comedies,
Fuck
romantic
that.
comedies.
Oh,
But
okay.
Completely.
it's about the Cornwall folk group, you know, the fishermen who then got a record deal. And they were all
Yeah,
like
that-
in their
no,
60s
no,
and
no,
70s.
no.
They played Glastonbury a few years back.
Possibly.
It was back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That looks quite good.
Oh, okay.
There's Shazam as well. Looks good fun.
Really good. Don't want to see Dora the Explorer.
Dorothy.
Not bothered about that.
Nah, less bothered about
Possibly. It rings a bell.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. I might get to see some of these. I might not. It just
Shazam
depends
looks
how busy I am. in the
really
next few
good.
weeks.
don't want to see Dora the Explorer.
I don't know.
Not bothered about
I
that.
really like the originals.
That's a real film, apparently.
I like David Harbour. I think he's going to do really well. Yeah, it looks... But I just don't know why they wouldn't just let Guillermo del Toro do a third one.
Hellboy?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what I saw the other day.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really liked it.
Oh, did you not see it in the cinema?
It looks...
Oh,
I
okay,
think it
right,
looks
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Really liked it. I fucking love that they hyped up X-Force
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, yeah, they trolled everyone. It's amazing,
Oh,
isn't
the
it?
other day.
Genius.
Deadpool
And
2.
Brad...
So I was like, okay, they're
Yeah.
not going to kill... they're not
Really
gonna
liked
do all
it.
the- They can't all...
No,
okay,
no,
there's
no.
one left.
And the
Really
Vanisher is
liked
Brad
it.
Pitt.
I fucking love
Did you not...
that
When
they
he hits
hyped
the
up X-Force
power lines, it's Brad Pitt.
so much.
Go back and watch
Oh
it.
my god.
Oh, genius.
So the invisible
Absolutely.
one
I was
is
like,
Brad
okay, they're not
Pitt.
going to kill... They're not going to do all... They can't all... Okay, there's one left.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, he trolled everyone. And the fact that he was calling...
Oh, really? I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because he did it.
All right, no, I didn't see that.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Genius.
Oh, brilliant.
What's interesting as well, out of the Marvel, the Fox Disney deal,
Yeah,
he's the
trolled
only
everyone.
one
And the
of the
fact
X-Men
that he was
characters that
calling
is going
Cable
to continue.
Thanos.
Who's that?
Deadpool.
Because he did it.
They're
and
the
this
only
is like,
ones, because
is
they're
that
getting rid of all
Thanos?
the Fox X-Men.
Yes, it is. He's like, oh, brilliant.
No, no. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't.
he makes a fuck ton of money every time
Yeah.
a film comes out,
And
whereas the
it costs
X-Men
that much
ones
money.
are kind
Who's
of,
that?
you know,
Deadpool.
they
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
been great,
Phoenix,
have
they're
they?
not Phoenix.
Because
That
Because
looks interesting.
Disney can't
They've
do
all
anything
looked
with him.
interesting,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but they don't
like, you
deliver,
can't.
do they? That's the thing. That's what I have always
Yeah, yeah.
found with those X-Men
And
films.
they don't cost
The
that
original
much
trilogy
money.
was alright.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought First Class
Phoenix,
was really
Dark
good.
Phoenix,
I liked First Class.
actually looks
Yeah.
interesting.
and then I don't know, did I watch?
But
I
they're
don't
not.
think I've watched any of the others after First Class.
No.
I have always found
I did see.
Or did I watch?
the original.
No, I've seen Days of Future
Yeah.
Past as well,
I thought
was a
First
bit
Class
like,
was really good.
Yeah.
I liked First Class.
and then I didn't bother watching Apocalypse.
Because Days of Future Past, the film,
Yeah, was nothing.
was
I did
nothing
see
like
this-
Days of Future Past.
What is
The
this?
comic.
Days of Future Past as well.
But then,
And was a bit like,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was.
but I did like that they brought back Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and the
Because
old
Days of
cast as
Future
well,
Past,
you know.
the film,
Yeah,
was nothing like Days of Future Past, the comic.
The Juggernaut.
yeah.
They
Can't
did
be.
the Juggernaut properly.
But yeah, Dark Phoenix does look quite good.
Although the voices were
Yeah, it
unreal.
was quite. It was quite cool.
Yeah.
Domino was fantastic.
But yeah,
Yes.
Deadpool 2.
She was fantastic.
Yeah,
they did the Juggernaut properly.
yeah. Juggernaut, bitch.
The kid was getting on.
Uh,
Yeah.
The angry Australian.
Is it?
New
Okay.
Zealandy kid. Yeah.
Domino was
I wasn't a
fantastic.
fan of him. Yeah.
But
But that's the point, I
Um,
think, isn't it?
She was fantastic. What
Yeah,
else was there that I
Cable
liked
sort of-
about it? The kid was getting on my tits. The angry Australian or New Zealand kid.
And all the
was-
bits
he
between
was
Deadpool
pain in
and
the arse, no.
Colossus as well.
But-
It's just
Yeah, Colossus.
Yeah, he
Baby
just-
legs.
Yeah, turning his arse on. Yeah, Cable sort of giving up his chance to save.
well, he
Deadpool
does
was
the
brilliant.
basic instinct. The leg cross from Basic Instinct.
The baby arm.
Yeah, Colossus
Made
is-
everyone laugh and
The baby legs.
just escalated it.
And then he walks. Oh, look at him! He can walk. He's doing it.
Like they took the baby.
It was, yeah.
They took the baby arm that made everyone laugh and just went,
Really funny.
just
Yeah.
escalated it.
Everyone liked it because it was something new. They can't repeat it, and they fucking did.
Yeah.
Like,
He's doing it.
the X-Force troll though was just
It's
It was-
genius, isn't it?
yeah.
Because they just
incredible.
Yeah, I thought
absolutely
Deadpool was like,
winced
oh,
it
you
in
know,
the,
that was really funny.
Because also
but
they put
everyone
extra
liked it
footage
because
of
it was
those
something
X-Force
new.
members
They can't
doing
repeat
stuff
it, and they
in the
fucking
trailers,
did.
didn't they? Like you saw one of them with
the
guns and
X-Force
stuff,
troll, though,
like
was
shooting
just
in the trailers.
fucking
That wasn't in the film.
incredible.
Peter as well.
Also, they did
Pete.
extra footage of those X-Force members doing that.
Yeah,
Oh, and the fucking what's his name? The taxi driver.
Oh,
yeah.
Anyway, the
That
fact
never
that he
happened.
was just desperate to be.
They never made it to ground.
Fight crime and stuff like that, and he's like, no, you can't. You know, And then they're interviewing people.
Oh, and the fucking what's his name? The taxi
Type 2
driver.
diabetes, does that count?
He goes, you're in. And
What the fuck's his name? Anyway, the fact that he just desperate to fight crime and stuff like that, and he's like, no, you can't, you know.
Yeah.
And then they're interviewing people with power. And Peter, what's your power? He goes, I don't. Yeah. Does that, he goes, you're in. And he's like, what the fuck?
Now a bit of Deadpool too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This
Yeah.
after the podcast/Spolercast is just
They really did well on that film.
Hey,
So,
excellent.
Oh, well,
we should
I think
probably let
we've
you go
spoiled enough
and
of
sleep.
Captain Marvel anyway. So.
Oh no!
And Deadpool 2.
Text me
Yeah,
when you get home.
and this after the podcast
Give me
slash
3
Spolercast
rings.
is just as long as the main episode we recorded today.
Do you
So
remember that?
yeah.
It was
Get
like,
some sleep.
give me 3
Yeah.
rings to make sure you're home.
I
so
hope I
you
make it
stay
down
and
Blue
wait for
Hill.
your phone to ring 3
Oh,
times
well,
and
it'll
then
be
hang
fine.
up. Why not just
Yeah.
text? Why didn't we just text?
I'll worry about you.
That's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yes. Well done. Yeah, that's been on my mind.
Didn't used to have free phone calls. And
Yeah.
free text messages.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We were all on pay as you go,
Yeah,
weren't
so
we?
give me 3 rings,
Yeah.
Yeah,
then it's free.
because that costs 10p. Whereas the 3 rings, if they
yeah,
didn't
going off
answer,
on a
it didn't
weird
cost
tangent
any
again.
money. Yeah, because didn't
So,
used to have
yeah,
free phone
that
calls
was
and
a-
free
that was a
text
pretty-
messages, Tom.
Epic spoiler cast.
Yeah, so
Cover
give
a
me
lot
3
of
rings,
Made up for
then it's free.
Yeah. Just
Anyway.
about, I reckon 3 films
Yeah,
for
cool.
the price of none.
Yeah, this isn't the main episode.
to be fair, for your subscription,
yeah.
you couldn't even get like a kernel of popcorn.
True.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
made up for not having Patreon content last week, I think.
But yeah, so we'll see you next time. I suppose because this is going out on the
exactly.
main feed at some point.
Yeah.
We'll
be fair,
see
for your
you
subscription costs, you
whenever the
couldn't
next
even get,
episode
like, a
is.
kernel of
So for
popcorn
this episode of Anywhere But Here,
in the
I've been
cinema,
Tom.
so you're welcome.
Bye. But yeah, so we'll see you next time. I suppose because this is going out on the main feed at some point.
Yeah.
We'll see you whenever the next episode is. So for this episode of Anywhere But Here, I've been Tom.
And I've been Ant. Bye.